if you are using any home appliance that uses alternating current, you need to thank Nikola Tesla, who felt he had always been ahead of his time. Hello viewers, this is Vamsi Krishna and welcome to JustXplorE. Today we will learn about rise and fall of Nikola Tesla. By the end of his brilliant yet torturous life, the inventor, engineer and Serbian physicist Nikola Tesla was penniless, living in a small New York City hotel room. He spent days in a park surrounded by the fauna that mattered most to him, which were the pigeons, and he spent his sleepless nights working over mathematical equations and scientific problems that revolved in his head. That habit would puzzle scientists and scholars for decades even after he died, in the year 1943. His inventions were designed and perfected as his imagination. Nikola Tesla was born in modern-day Croatia in the year 1856. His father, Milutin, was a priest of Serbian Orthodox Church. At an early age, he demonstrated obsessiveness that would puzzle and amuse those around him. He could memorize entire books and store logarithmic tables in his brain. He learned languages very easily. He could work through days and nights with only a few hours of sleep. At the age of 19, he was studying electrical engineering at the Polytechnic Institute of Graz in Austria, where he quickly established himself as a star student. He joined in an ongoing debate with a professor over perceived design flaws in the direct current DC motors that were being demonstrated during a class. Tesla later wrote, "In attacking the problem again, I almost regretted that the struggle was soon to end. I had so much energy to spare. When I undertook the task, it was not with a resolve such as men often make. With me, it was a sacred vow, a question of life and death. I knew that I would perish if I failed. Now I felt that the battle was won. Back in the deep recesses of the brain was the solution, but I could not yet give it an outward expression." He spent the next 6 years of his life thinking about electromagnetic fields and a hypothetical motor that is powered by an alternating current that would and should work. The thoughts obsessed him, and he was unable to focus on his schoolwork. Professors at his university warned Tesla's father that Tesla's working and sleeping habits were killing him. Rather than finishing his studies, Tesla became an addict of gambling, lost all his tuition money, dropped out of school, and suffered nervous breakdown. In the year 1881, after recovering from his breakdown, Tesla moved to Budapest. As he was walking through a park with a friend, reciting poetry, he saw a vision. Tesla drew a crude diagram in the dirt with a stick. A motor using the principle of rotating magnetic fields created by two or more alternating currents. While alternating currents electrification had been employed before, there would never be a practical working motor run on the alternating current until Tesla invented his own induction motor several years later. Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. In June 1884, Tesla sailed for the New York City and arrived with 4 cents in his pocket and a letter of recommendation from Charles Batchelor, who was a former employer to Thomas Edison, which was purported to say, "My dear Edison, I know 2 great men and you are one of them. The other is this young man." Tesla was hired as an engineer at Thomas Edison's Manhattan headquarters. He worked there for a year, impressing Edison with his ingenuity and diligence. Edison told Tesla that he would pay $50,000 for an improved design for his DC dynamos. After months of experimentation, Tesla presented a solution and asked for the money. Edison demurred, saying, "Tesla, you don't understand our American humor." Tesla quit soon after. First solo venture. In the year 1885, Tesla has received funding for the Tesla Electric Light Company, and his investors asked him to develop improved arc lighting. After successfully doing so, however, Tesla was forced to move out of his venture for a time and had to work as a manual laborer to survive. His luck changed 2 years later when he received funding for his new Tesla electric company, Nikola Tesla and Westinghouse. After failing to start his own electric light company, Tesla found backers to support his research into the alternating current. In 1887 and 1888, he was granted more than 30 patents for his inventions and invited to address the American Institute of Electrical Engineering on his work. His lecture grabbed the attention of George Westinghouse, who was an inventor and had launched the first AC power system near Boston and was Edison's major competitor in the Battle of the Currents. Westinghouse hired Tesla, licensed the patents for AC motor, and gave him his lab. In the year 1890, Edison arranged for a convicted New York murderer to be put to death in an AC-powered electric chair, which was a stunt designed to show how dangerous the Westinghouse standard could be. Buoyed by Westinghouse royalties, Tesla struck out of his own again, but Westinghouse was soon forced by his backers to renegotiate their contract, with Tesla relinquishing his royalty rights. In the 1890s, Tesla invented improved lights, meters, electric oscillators, and high-voltage transformer known as the Tesla Coil. He also continued his experiments on X-rays, gave short-range demonstrations of radio communications. 2 years before Guglielmo Marconi and piloted a radio-controlled boat around a pool in Madison Square Garden. Westinghouse and Tesla together lit the 1981 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago and partnered with General Electric to install AC generators at Niagara Falls, creating the first modern power station. Tesla's inventions. Throughout his career, Tesla designed, discovered, and developed ideas for several important inventions, most of which were patented by other inventors, including dynamos, which are electrical generators like batteries, and the induction motor. He was also a pioneer in the discovery of X-ray technology, remote control, radar technology, and the rotating magnetic field, the basis of the most alternate current machinery. Tesla is most well known for his contributions to AC, electricity, and the Tesla coil. In the late 19th century, Tesla patented the Tesla coil, which laid the foundation for the invention of wireless technologies and is still used in radio technology today. The heart of an electric circuit, the Tesla coil is an inductor used in many early radio transmission antennas. 6 brilliant Tesla ideas that never got built. It seems I have always been ahead of my time, Nikola Tesla once mused. While the eccentric inventor pioneered advances in the radio, motors, robotics, television, and electricity, including the alternating current technology that is widely used today, he also produced more outlandish ideas. The following are the futuristic visions of Tesla, which have yet to come to fruition, either because of limitations of technology or market viability. Earthquake machine. In the year 1893, Tesla patented a steam-powered mechanical oscillator that would vibrate up and down at high speeds to generate electricity. Years after patenting his invention, he told reporters that one day, while attempting to tune his mechanical oscillator, the vibration of the building housing his New York City laboratory, he caused the ground to shake. During the test, Tesla continuously turned up the power and heard cracking sounds. He recalled, "Suddenly all the heavy machinery in the place were flying around. I grabbed a hammer and broke the machine. The building would have been down about our ears in another few minutes." Police and ambulances arrived on the scene to attend the commotion, but Tesla told his assistants to remain quiet and tell people that it must have been an earthquake. Thought camera. Tesla believed it could be possible to photograph thoughts. The inspiration came while he was doing experiments in the year 1893. Tesla told a newspaper reporter decades later, "I became convinced that a definite image formed in thought must by reflex action produce a corresponding image on the retina, which might be read by suitable apparatus. If this can be done successfully, then the objects imagined by a person would be reflected on the screen as they are formed, and in this way every thought of the individual could be read. Our minds then indeed be like open books. Wireless energy. In the year 1901, Tesla secured $150,000 from financier J.P. Morgan to build a 185-foot tall, mushroom-shaped tower on the north shore of the Long Island, capable of transmitting messages, telephony, and images to ships at sea across the Atlantic Ocean by using Earth to conduct signals. As work began on the structure called Wardenclyffe Tower, Tesla wanted to adapt it and allow for wireless power delivery, believing from his experiments on radio and microwaves that he could light up New York City by transmitting millions of volts of electricity through the air. Morgan, however, refused to give Tesla any additional funding for his grandiose scheme. Some speculate that Morgan cut off funds once he realized that Tesla's plan could have crippled his other energy sector holdings. Tesla abandoned the project in 1906 before it could ever become operational, and Wardenclyffe Tower was dismantled in 1917. Artificial tidal wave. The engineer and physicist believed the power of science could be harnessed to prevent war. In 1907, the New York World reported of another Tesla's military innovations, in which wireless telegraphy would trigger the detonations of high explosives at sea to generate tidal waves so vast that they would capsize the entire enemy fleets. The newspaper reported that the artificial tidal wave would make navies as useless as the paper boats that babies float in the bathtub, and foreshadowing later claims about the development of nuclear weapons by its horrors hastened the day of universal peace. Electric-powered supersonic airships. From the time Tesla was a boy, he had fascinated with the idea of flight. Combining his knowledge of electrical and mechanical engineering, he began to think more about aviation after the failure of Wardenclyffe. In an article in the July 1990 issue of Reconstruction magazine, Tesla discussed his work on developing a supersonic aircraft that could travel 8 miles above the surface of Earth and generate speeds allowing passengers to travel between New York and London in just 3 hours. Tesla's concept called the aircraft to be powered by electricity transmitted wirelessly from the power plants on the ground, eliminating the need for aircraft to carry fuel. Tesla said in an article that the power supply is virtually unlimited as any number of power plants can be operated together, supplying energy to airships just as trains running on tracks are now supplied with electrical energy through rails or wires. Death beam. Tesla's creative mind continued to spark new visions even late in his life. On his 78th birthday, Tesla told the New York Times that he had come up with the most important invention, one that could cause armies of millions to drop dead in their tracks. The invention? It was a military weapon that could accelerate mercury particles at 48 times speed of sound inside a vacuum chamber and shoot a high velocity beam through the free air of such tremendous energy that it will bring down a fleet of 10,000 enemy airplanes at a distance of 250 miles. Although the press dubbed it as Death Beam, Tesla believed it to be a peace beam that would foil attacks by airplanes and invading armies and save lives by attacking, like an invisible Chinese wall, only a million times impenetrable. Tesla offered his particle beam weapon to numerous governments, including the United States, but the only country to show interest was the Soviet Union, which conducted a partial test in the year 1939. Death ray. After suffering a nervous breakdown following the closure of his free energy project, Tesla eventually returned to work primarily as a consultant. But as time went on, his ideas became progressively more outlandish and impractical. He grew increasingly eccentric, devoting much of his time to the care of wild pigeons in the parks of New York City. Tesla even drew the attention of the FBI with his talk of building a powerful death ray, which had received some of the interest of the Soviet Union during the World War II. How did Nikola Tesla die? Tesla died of coronary thrombosis on January 7th in the year 1943, at the age of 86 in New York City, where he had lived for nearly around 60 years. However, the legacy of the work Tesla left behind him lives on this day. In 1994, a street sign identifying Nikola Tesla Corner was installed near the site of his former New York City laboratory, at the intersection of 40th Street and 6th Avenue. Tesla Motors and the electric car. In 2003, a group of engineers founded Tesla Motors, a car company named after Tesla, dedicated to building the first fully electric powered car. Entrepreneur and engineer Elon Musk contributed over $30 million to Tesla in 2004 and serves as the company's co-founder CEO. In 2008, Tesla unveiled its first electric car, the Roadster, a high-performance sports vehicle. The Roadster helped change the perception of what electric cars could be. Tesla launched the Model S, a lower-priced model that in 2017 set the Motor Trend world record for 0 to 60 miles per hour acceleration at 2.28 seconds. Tesla's designs showed that electric car could have the same performance as gasoline-powered sports car brands like Porsche and Lamborghini. This was a video on Nikola Tesla. We hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button, comment your views and share it with your friends. For more videos like this, subscribe to our channel JustXplorE. And do not forget to press the bell icon to receive updates. This is Vamsi Krishna, signing off.